auntie. They don't even know. Auntie is good. Auntie is good. I have embraced auntie. I am not with this older generation talking about don't call me auntie. I ain't nobody's auntie. I actually have nieces and nephews.
Hey guys, it's your favorite auntie. Everything in this video is alleged, it is in my opinion, and it is for entertainment purposes only. Mostly everyone knows about Tyler Francis and Ashley Francis from Love is Blind season 7, for better or worse. I have a lot to say about this, but let me say this. This video is not about bashing Tyler. It is not about telling Ashley she needs to leave her man. What this is about is just kind of unpacking the web. I've sat back, I've watched the show, I've watched the interviews, and I'm going to give my opinion. I'm going to unpack the web, and I'm also going to give my advice to Ashley. It is going to be from one married person to another married person, just some solid advice. And I would love to get you guys' opinion at the end of the video. Please make sure you like, comment, and subscribe, and listen to the video in its entirety before commenting and making a decision. Thank you. Appreciate that. All right, let's get into it. Let's unpack the web. But first, let me just give a quick background for those that may not know the entire story, or maybe you only heard part of the story. So Tyler and Ashley went on the show Love is Blind, season 7. They fell in love. Tyler tells Ashley, oh, by the way, I have 3 children, but don't worry. These are just donor kids. I donated semen for a lesbian couple. They're not really a part of my life. You have nothing to worry about. Then Ashley finds out through the mother of Tyler's children, which is Bri, who Tyler refers to her as the donor's mother. Then there is Bri's ex-wife, Deshawn, who was married to Bri at the time when Tyler and Bri got together and had the children. Okay, background done. Now, let's unpack it all. So I watched 3 different interviews, and I want to make sure that I shout out the podcast in which all 3 of the interviews were done on. So Tyler did an interview with Dear Future Wifey with Latarius Whitfield. Bri did an interview with Jesse Wu in Storytime with Ricky. And then Deshawn, which is the ex-wife, also did an interview with Jesse Wu in Storytime with Ricky. And so I watched all 3 podcasts so that I can bring this PowerPoint sheet to you guys so we can just kind of unpack what everybody's saying. So they all agree Bri and Deshawn was married. Then Tyler said his oldest son was a donor baby. A lot of people are calling Tyler the liar, and there are some lies that I believe that are being told. But I want to point out what each person is saying so you can kind of weigh the scale here. They all agree that the oldest son that Bri had was supposed to be a donor child. They all 3 of them agree on that. Now, according to Deshawn, she said that she does believe that although Tyler gave his semen for them to have the child, Bri didn't get pregnant, and she does believe that Tyler and Bri got together while she was out of town, and that is how Bri got pregnant. Don't know if that's true or not. Only Bri and Tyler would know that, but they all agree that the oldest child was supposed to be a donor baby for them, for Bri and Deshawn to raise. There's no disputing that. Now, the other thing is, Deshawn agrees, and Tyler and Bri, that Deshawn signed the birth certificate for the oldest son. There's no dispute. All 3 of them believe that. Deshawn had a baby Bri helped raise. All 3 of them agree on that. Well, I would say Tyler and Deshawn agree on that. I don't believe that was even brought up or asked to Bri. I don't recall seeing that in her interview. So I think Deshawn had a daughter, and Bri raised the child from 10 months to 3 years old. Everybody, well, Tyler and Deshawn are in agreement with that. Let's see what else. Now, according to Tyler, Tyler said he was not engaged when he gave the donation that we're going to call, the donor child. That's what I'm referring to. When he gave his donation of his semen, and that he did not bring a fiance to the baby shower, because that was one of the things that were brought up, that, hey, Tyler, you have been known to be a liar. You were engaged at the time. You even brought your fiance to the baby shower. That was things that was being said online. Bri said that Tyler was engaged, And also, Deshaun said that Tyler was engaged and that he cheated on his fiance regularly. So I do believe that when Tyler said that he wasn't engaged at the time that he gave his donation. He may not have been engaged at the time, but at some point he was engaged. And I do believe that he did not tell his fiance that he had given Bry and Deshaun his semen for them to have a child. Because I don't think he ever had any intentions of being a part of the child's life in that way. I think it was just supposed to be, Uncle Ty as the way that he said so. And that's what Deshaun says as well, that he was just supposed to be like the uncle. He was not supposed to be helping raise the oldest child. Okay, so let's go to the next page. And then, of course, I'm going to get to all the other stuff that everybody's in the uproar about, but let's just continue to unpack the web. Deshaun and Bry had a history of abuse, according to Tyler. Deshaun moved to California prior to the twins being born. Now, according to Tyler, I believe I remember hearing in his interview where he said that that Bry and Deshaun used some semen he had donated a year prior to have the twins. I don't believe that to be true. You can't hold that for a whole year and then just in your refrigerator, freezer, whatever, and then just use it. So I'm gonna say that that's not true, Tyler. I don't even know how he could even have a say that with a straight face. Bryce says that her and Tyler had the twins naturally, which I believe to be true. Deshaun said that this was the first time that she had heard Bry admit that Tyler and Bry had the twins naturally. She suspected it, but this was, I think that she said that was her first time hearing it, if I'm not mistaken. Now, she does admit that, yes, she was in an abusive relationship with Bry, and so therefore Deshaun moved to California, and then Bry gets pregnant with the twins. Now, according to Tyler, he's alleging that Deshaun left Bry. I believe he's saying Deshaun left Bry when the twins were born, right after the twins were born, and he's acting as if, no, I was just helping her out. After Deshaun left, he says he stepped in and was helping Bry with the oldest son and was helping her with the twins because Deshaun up and left. That's what Tyler says. Um, Bry admits the ex-wife left and moved to California prior to the twins. Bry uses the word mistakenly got pregnant with the twins naturally with Tyler. According to Deshaun, she was not involved when the twins were conceived. First time she learned of the twins being conceived naturally from Bry's interview. Tyler says was supposed to be uncle to the kids. We kind of talked about that. Bryce says Tyler stepped up when ex-wife left as the dad and was at the doctor's appointment and at the birth of the twins, and Tyler signed the birth certificate. And then, of course, Bry also acknowledges that Tyler was supposed to be an uncle to the kids. Tyler acknowledges that he signed the birth certificate, and he states it was because Deshaun left. What Tyler also states is that when Deshaun left, that that Deshaun, and she admits this as well, that she tried to get full custody of the children. I'm sorry, not the children. She tried to get full custody of the oldest child, I believe, and so to keep her from getting full custody, Tyler stepped in and I guess acknowledged to the court that he was the biological father. So that way she was not able to get custody of the twins. Let me go to the next page here because I might be jumping ahead of myself. Okay, so then we have Tyler stating that during this whole time, he's spending time with the children, just trying to step up to help out his friend Bryce. Stated that he never really got attached to the kids. One of the things that Bry said was that Tyler pushed Bry out every time he was in a new relationship. And Tyler contradicted what Bry said in his interview. He said, oh, every time she was in a new relationship, she would push me out. So they're contradicting each other there. Now, according to Deshaun, she said she saw Tyler getting attached to the kids and she felt pushed out. So I'm going to go with what Bry and what Deshaun said is saying, which is that I believe Tyler was getting attached to the children, and that perhaps they were, well, maybe Bry was trying to push Deshaun out. I don't know if Tyler was trying to push her out because Tyler could very well be going by what Bry is telling him. She could be telling him Deshaun doesn't want to be a part of the kid's life. And one of the things that Deshawn said is that she believed Bri really wanted Tyler. Like she really wanted to be with Tyler. And I believe that too. I honestly believe that I think Bri really wanted something serious with Tyler. And I don't know that he ever saw Bri in that way, but I definitely believe that he was dipping and dabbling with Bri, but I don't think he probably ever saw her the way that she probably wanted him to see her, although she was still having conflicting feelings about you know, whether or not she was straight, whether or not she was not straight, whatever. But I do believe that of what Deshawn said. Um, Tyler said that Bri had two other relationships since the twins. And one of the relationships, she's actually engaged to her fiance from that relationship. And so he said that he would get pushed out. He said he never lived with his kids. They only visit his place a few times. But according to Bri, they lived as a family, but wasn't together. She said that he was very active with the kids when he wasn't in a relationship. And according to Deshawn, she does not believe Tyler was that active because Bri told her that Tyler was an Instagram dad to her. This is what Bri told Deshawn. No, Tyler's just an Instagram dad. So I kind of believe the fact that Tyler may not have been that active in the kid's life, like he said he wasn't. Also, Deshawn said that Tyler signed the birth certificate. Oh, we talked about that and challenged her when she filed for full custody. Okay, then Tyler said that Bri and her mom are very toxic. Deshawn agrees to that as well. Let's see. Tyler said that Bri is engaged with fiance who has her own kids. They never really asked her in her interview with Bri about her fiance, so that wasn't brought up. She, according to Bri, she filed for child support years ago before Tyler even was on the show because she wanted him to pay, for the children, especially considering that the twins were conceived naturally. She said there was never an agreement that was discussed when it comes to the donation of the other children. And really, the twins were technically born in marriage. So, one of the things that Deshawn said was that Deshawn signed away her rights to the oldest child. And she said technically she could have contested for the twins as well, because technically they were born in their marriage. But I think she was solely going after the oldest child. And she ended up signing away her rights. And she said the reason why she did that is because she felt like it was going to cost too much money. And at the end of the day, Brian wanted Tyler and Bride to be parents to the children, and she just felt like it was a battle that she wasn't going to be able to win, and for her mental health she just gave up. And so that is why she does not have rights to her oldest son. So of course she believes this is karma for Tyler, all that he's going through, because she's like, look what you did when I tried to take my oldest son. You could have let me have my son, but because you want to jump in and contest it, now all of a sudden this is not your kid. So I understand where Deshawn is coming from. So she kind of only acknowledges the son as her own child. And then Bri said that Tyler left her after marrying Ashley. All of a sudden now he wants nothing to do with the children. They've been there before. Here we go again. So Ashley did an interview on her interview was with the Wall Files. And of course, Ashley's just going by everything that her husband has told her. And that's what most women do, right? They're going to go with what their spouse tells them. Here is here's my takeaway for Ashley. And by no means do I want Ashley to leave her husband. Here is what I would love for Ashley to do, because I do believe that Ashley is a woman of God, a woman of faith, and I do believe that she takes her vows very seriously. And I do feel like Tyler is trying to be a different man, but I also kind of feel like it's easier for him to turn his back on the children so that he can start a new life with Ashley, because he doesn't want to deal with the decisions that he made in the past. But as a woman and as a wife, I don't know how you can move forward with wanting to have a family of your own while allowing your husband to turn his back on the family that he created. Yes, his ex is getting married, but that does not mean that now all of a sudden he doesn't have any responsibilities at all. And I know she wants to believe the story of they're all just donor kids, but Tyler was in those children's lives. Everyone has told her that. She can watch the interviews to see for herself that he was in those children's lives. And as a wife, you should not be comfortable with your husband turning his back on his children. And I don't know if it's going to take her having her own child for her to really feel that. You shouldn't have to have your own child to feel that. So I this is my advice to Ashley. I would like for her to support her husband in continuing a relationship with his kids. Those children know him as his dad. Even if he was not that active in the past, encourage him to be active. Like, that shouldn't even be attractive for a man to want to turn his back on the children. He created them. They know about him. There was no paperwork signed. In my opinion, he's on the hook for being responsible for those children. If it was supposed to be these were donor kids that was never supposed to be in their lives, then you can't jump in and then jump back out. It's too late. You've already jumped in. And I think as a man, and if you're wanting to, like Tyler says, he really wants to grow his faith and he really wants to build a solid foundation with Ashley and he wants to have other children, then you just can't say, oh, okay, well, forget my kids that I created over here. No. And even with Bri saying she doesn't want Tyler to be a part of the children's lives, but the fact that she's petitioning the court for child support means that he's entitled to probably be in the children's lives. You can't ask this man for child support and then turn around and say, I don't want him to be a part of the kid's life. Like, I don't even think the courts would allow that. So you got to pick which one you want. So I'm hoping that Ashley will have an epiphany, or that the spirit will lead her and give her a revelation that that is not what God would want you to do. He would never want you to tell your husband or encourage your husband or even support your husband in turning his back on his children. I encourage her to stay married. I think that they have what it takes at some point to make it a successful marriage. But I think this whole situation with the children, I think will hinder the success of their marriage. If you don't get this situation right with his kids and his child and the children's mother, I don't think you can go off and then just have this great loving marriage. I just don't think that's possible. And that's coming from someone who's been married for quite some time. That's my advice to Ashley. You guys let me know down in the comments what you guys think and give some really strong advice. And I think it can't just be Ashley, leave your man. She's married. They've been married a year, and that's not the answer. What can we do and what can we say as Black women to pour into her, especially my married people? Let's pour into her to help her make a better decision. Let's pour into Tyler and be like, Tyler, you got to man up and you got to do the right thing and you got to take care of your responsibility. These are decisions that you made. And it'll benefit you in the long run because it's not the children's fault. And I'm sure that these are great kids and they don't deserve this of what all you guys as adults have decided to do. So, you know, that's my thought about that. So, anyway, you guys give me yours. Hope you enjoyed the video.